So, Kaitlin Bennett, our favorite, fascist, I don't know, whatever, monarchist, she's a monarchist, which is kind of like fascism, but you get to wear a cool crown. Anyway, she has Twitter beef with Lil Nas X, who you might know as the, I don't mean to make, this the headline here, but it's pertinent to the story, openly gay rap artist, recently did the Satan shoes thing that freaked out a bunch of conservatives because they took the bait. Did the Satan music video thing recently. And got in a Twitter fight with Kaitlin.
Hi, everybody.
So let's take a look at how that went, shall we?
Welcome to Liberty Hangout Uncensored. We have this is very fitting for Liberty Hangout Uncensored today. We're gonna talk about Lil Nas X, but it's not what you think. It's not complaining about his music video. It's telling you guys how he threatened to rape my father.
Oh, she is saying that is absolutely not what he said, but we'll get to that when she gets to that part.
And I'm not joking, and you're probably...
No, you're just misrepresenting the situation entirely.
Probably not surprised that someone like him would do that. He responds and...
So, she tweeted, "Do you still see your dad?" Racist comment. And then he says, "Yep, and I might F yours." This is a typical, like, your mama joke, basically, or your dad joke. It's a silly, immature joke, like, haha, I'm gonna sleep with your dad. But never in the history of, like, your mama jokes, or jokes like this that just sort of flip the parent, never is it implied that it's not consensual. So stop it, Kaitlin. The implication is that your dad will want to sleep with Lil Nas X. It's how these work.
Says, "Yep, and I might F yours."
Just a little bit of the backstory about what the hell is going on. This guy Lil Nas X came out with a new music video no more than 2-3 days ago where
They're still talking about this shit. They're still talking about this. I've never heard a single Lil Nas X song, and he has provided me with more entertainment value than any musician in the last 5 years. Specifically because he's so good at baiting conservatives. He's a black guy who's also openly gay and is using satanic imagery. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful how freaked out he makes them. Is that Caitlin's husband? I believe so, yeah.
Performing sexual acts on Satan.
Yeah, and then he murders Satan. Shouldn't you guys be like, yeah, Lil Nas murdered Satan? But you gotta focus on the fact that he gives Satan a lap dance.
And then after that video, when that wasn't enough to poke the bear, he starts a...
I've not heard Old Town Road. Every time I say I've never heard a Lil Nas song, everyone's like, you've heard Old Town Road? No, I haven't. I've not heard that song.
Sneaker line of Satan shoes that have human blood in them.
So, his response is to threaten to rape my father.
Kaitlin, that's not what he said! Even a little bit!
And there's articles out there that are like, oh, you provoked him into threatening to rape your dad.
He didn't threaten to assault anyone! He did like a joke that's like, haha, your dad wants to sleep with me. You know, like jokes work? Are you gonna ignore the fact about the racist comment you said to him initially? Now let me be clear. If Lil Nas had said something to that effect, that I'm going to assault your father in that way, or anyone, it wouldn't really matter what was said to him first. That would still be an inappropriate comment. But that's not what he said. That's not what he said at all. You're completely mischaracterizing it. And on top of that, ignoring the fact that you were like a racist asshole first? It's kind of weird.
You're gonna play the victim? It's like, I was telling Justin this. Go ahead.
And then people like Cassandra Fairbanks that were standing up for you and trying to point out, okay, imagine there were people trying to say, oh, that's not a rape threat to say I might f your dad.
It's not. It's not. It's not. I understand your dad is probably a straight guy, and I assume he's going to say here, well, my dad's not gay. He wouldn't consent to that, which is probably true. But that's not the point. That's not usually how, like, your mama or your dad jokes tend to be. It's not about that. He's insinuating, like, your dad would want to bleep me. That's part of the comeback. It's part of how that interaction went. You were there for it. You should know.
Because, he didn't explicitly say, I'm going to force him. What if it's consensual? Cassandra Fairbanks pointed out, imagine this same situation in any other context. What if he said, I'm going to F you.
Yeah.
I'm going to F your sister.
Yeah.
I'm going to F your daughter. That would be.
People do make that joke. People do often make that joke.
Yeah.
Anyone else would perceive
But
that
Justin,
to be a rape threat.
If you
Not necessarily. It kind of depends on the context.
ever went after...
Because we know what it looks like when that does happen. Sargon, even though he said the opposite, but also Sargon's a piece of shit, so...
The people who went after me, if you personally said, oh, you're going to make that stuff about my wife, I might f*** your mother or something. I might have sex with your mom.
Yeah, people do that. I do think it's immature, for the record. I think it's an immature comeback, but it's a Twitter argument. Don't go on Twitter and get in an argument if you're not ready for some really, really immature shit to go down.
You would be probably investigated by the FBI because you're a white male.
Mm-hmm.
And you're...
All these white men being investigated by the FBI for jokes on Twitter? You have a source on any of that?
straight. And how dare you say that about a woman? So that's the point that Cassandra Fairbanks was making.
Right.
I highly recommend everybody to go read the Gateway Pundits article by
No thank you.
Cassandra Fairbanks. Funny. It's funny, and it kind of just lays it all out there. It's just so weird. But just like in the video that we uploaded here yesterday on Case Unsafe Space, on that little section on the site here at Liberty Hangout TV, I spoke for a good 5 minutes explaining how the left, when they want to go after or try to embarrass or try to shame right-wingers, the first thing they think about is sex.
Interesting assertion. Go on.
And just degeneracy. That's the first thing they think about is, I'm going to think about this person in a sexual way, and then I'm going to post it and try to make it seem as if I'm not the one that should be embarrassed, but I'm going to embarrass them by thinking of them in a sexual way.
I'm not even sure where she's getting the concept here. I definitely don't think that's the case.
And that's what Cassandra Fairbanks even pointed out is what he's lying about, talking about this whole thing, is exactly what I said in that episode. I highly recommend going and watching that. I talk about revenge porn.
It's like clockwork with these people. You tweet out,
Are you comparing him tweeting that he's gonna sleep with your dad as an insult to revenge porn? Hyperbolic is the word that comes to mind.
blocked by this guy. So he has to tweet about your private parts.
Exactly. That's the weird thing. Of course he's obsessed with what's in my pants. He's obsessed with what's in everybody's pants, of any gender. He's that's what he's about. That's what
He's a
they are all
disgusting,
about.
perverted
I mean, he's gay. I don't know if he cares what's in your pants, to be entirely honest.
freak.
Yes, that's entirely what the left is about. Perverted freaks. I like that. He's a disgusting, perverted freak.
She's really mad she lost this Twitter fight and that she got ratioed, huh?
That's what they all are. And I know some of you might, they're not all like that. But yeah, okay, they are. I just don't care anymore. I just don't care. To be nuanced about this point.
About this point? Oh. She was showing discretion before? Yikes.
Because I feel like he's getting, at least on the internet, and this is an important thing that I have to remind myself of a lot, is if you were to go to the average American person and show them this, they would look away in disgust.
What's that Blazing Saddles bit where he's like, these are people who are the salt of the earth. These are small town farmers. You know, idiots.
In anger, in disbelief. But on the internet, it's super cool. Some other people worth noting that chimed in and was really gung-ho about Lil Nas calling me Pants. Kathy Griffin, which we all know, a failed comedian because she got so much backlash for, boy, another degenerate person.
I think there are other reasons Kathy Griffin is a failed comedian, but, you know, whatever.
Was provoked into this. Beheading somebody, and then
she didn't actually behead somebody. She did a photo shoot where it was her posing with a fake severed head of Donald Trump.
Agreeing with someone who wants to rape my dad. I'm not shocked. Can't say that.
Again, misrepresenting the conversation entirely.
A beauty YouTuber named Manny MUA. I think it stands for makeup artist. A dude putting makeup on his face. All right, good. I'll take it.
There were some other drag queens going after you.
Drag queens?
I showed you. There was a guy that was a cross-dresser in New York. What's so funny is
that your whole commentary on them is just they happen to be drag queens? They think that's a biting insult? Cool.
Just a couple weeks ago when we went to the beach to do our street interviews. You guys know that video we did where she was interviewing the real hefty psychologist that didn't know what a woman was. Actually, the thumbnail of her, because she had her giant things just pouring out there.
Her boobs. You can say boobs.
Her boobies. YouTube took down the thumbnail for nudity. Yeah. But they're going to allow and probably promote this.
Oh, it's probably trending on YouTube.
And they also, and then one of our other videos from the beach, they age restricted.
Yeah.
They age restricted our interviews at the beach. Mm-hmm. Is his music video age restricted?
That would be.
It might be. I don't know. Let's look. I can't play the actual video, obviously, for DMCA reasons, but let's see. What's the name of it? I don't know. Well, no. I don't know the name of the song, but I'm sure it'll pop up. Here we go. Montero. Doesn't look like it's age restricted. This is probably the censored version, though. I don't know, though. Let me look. I mean, this is the video, so I'm sure this is still him banging Satan or whatever, but where does he actually bang Satan? Typical music video shit. There's that. Yeah. I haven't seen this. I haven't actually watched it. Yeah, and then he kills Satan, and he becomes Satan or something.
Interesting to find out.
We'll have to find out.
Yeah, well, we're gonna look into that to see if it's age restricted. Even Cardi B says, "I don't let my children watch my own music videos."
Yeah, they're not made for children. If you're a parent, it's your responsibility to monitor your child's media intake. There are things made for adults. You know that, Kaitlin, right? Like, there are a lot of things made for adults. Mightiest Quinn, thank you for raiding. Welcome, raiders. We're looking at Kaitlin freaking out about an argument she had with Lil Nas. Go check out the Mightiest Quinn's channel.
You guys shouldn't let your children watch mine either if you don't want them to.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Have some accountability. Isn't that the entire point of, like, conservatism, is having personal accountability for yourself and for your children and not blaming everyone else the fact that you can't parent correctly?
Okay, fair enough. And she says, my music is not for kids. Don't let kids listen to it. He specifically said, I'm glad and it's okay that children are watching this. There is a difference between saying, I'm not going to parent your kids.
I don't know the quote on that one. I don't necessarily agree. I think anything that's kind of like that is probably 13. Once you're about 13, maybe you can watch that shit, but I don't know.
I want to make music and express myself. Keep them away from it. That's not what he's saying. Mm-hmm. He's saying, yes, that's my audience. Yes, it's okay. I want them to listen to it.
Listen to it's probably fine. The music video's a little risque with the lap dance stuff. Like, I'd feel the same about the WAP song, right? I don't have kids though, so. Oh, that's the end of the video. Oh, Kaitlin. Imagine being that excited to be near Ted Cruz.
My name is Kaitlin Bennett, and I'm the most
So, that's what Caitlin's up to. Basically mad she got ratioed on Twitter, so. Good times.